My four gyms collected $634,000 in the last 90 days, and I'm going to show you exactly how we did it, including the $45,000 mistake that I made that almost tanked the entire quarter. So let's jump in, and I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what we did in my four gyms to collect that $634,000 in Q1, and then show you the failures and the things that I learned, which was a big mistake that almost cost us the entire quarter. It probably cost us up to $45,000 in actual revenue that we missed out on. But more importantly, had I not caught the mistake, it would have tanked the whole quarter and we would have fallen very short. Luckily, we caught it in time, made the adjustment, and ended up exceeding our revenue targets in Q1. So I'm going to take you through the four big wins, the four things that we did that allow us to hit $634,000. And then I'm going to share with you the two mistakes and the learnings from that. So what we did is we executed the N5 model. We dialed in our transformation-based marketing. We did 20 to 30% in paid in full collection and then less than 4% churn. I'm going to show you exactly all of these in detail. And then I'm going to take you through what I messed up on our booking page, which almost tanked the quarter, and then a PT flop, which has cost us a lot of money because this was in our projections for the year, but we have fallen massively short. So let's start with the N5 model. The N5 model is a system that I developed when I was the executive director of marketing for a fitness franchise. And it's a system that guarantees you grow by at least 5 new members each month, which will net you a minimum of $78,000 per year in growth. And it's very simple, but nobody does this. What it is N5, which stands for net 5. And how you calculate it is you take the clients that you lost last month and you add 5. Super simple. As an example, I'm recording this in the month of April. Let's say in the month of March, we lost 10 clients. Then that would mean in the month of April, the goal for us is to sign up 15. We want to replace the 10 clients that we lost and add 5 more. When we do this every single month, we net 5 members every month, which stacks over and over and over again. And that's what allows us to drive in that revenue. If you net 5 clients every month at an average of $200 per month, that will bring in $78,000 in new revenue to your gym. Now, our target was to net 60. We hit 75. So we crushed it. We were super happy about that. We almost didn't, and I'll share that later on in the video. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the most important systems to have within your gym. Most gym owners have no idea what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get members. This gives you a concrete target, knowing exactly what you need to hit every single month to ensure that you're growing month over month over month. And it is essential to have this as part of your business. We use this with every single client, and it's one of the reasons our clients have so much success within our program. Number 2 is transformational based marketing. I'm going to start with what it isn't, because that's maybe a better way to even understand it. It's not a 7-day trial. You're not marketing 14 days for $14. You're not marketing 28 days for $47 or any other discount, trial, or promo. The reason for that is the majority of gyms, they market promos. They're relying on the discount to attract leads. Come do this free thing. Come do this discounted thing. We have this promo. And because of that, because that's what their offer is just a discount. What happens is they attract discount-minded clients, people that are only opting in or only signing up for a trial because they want the discount. What happens with that is because all gyms are doing that, you can't stand out from all the other gyms. So you just get lost in the noise. If 10 gyms in your local area are all marketing a 7-day trial or a 1-week discount or a 28 days this, why would they pick you? Do they like your logo? Do they like some of your other stuff? Like, you don't stand out from the crowd and you just get lost in the noise. What I have found works much better is what I call transformational based marketing. Now, here's what it is. First, you need to niche down. Too many gyms are marketing to too wide of a range of an audience. The most common that I see is that gyms are marketing to women like 25 or 30 up to like 55. But here's the problem. A woman who's 25 or 30, they have a lot different goals and problems than a woman who's 50 or 55, right? That younger female, maybe theirs is a little bit more, they want to have a booty or look good at a bikini, or a lot of it is maybe more to look good. Whereas maybe a woman in her 50s, maybe their goal is to get stronger for longevity or to overcome some of the symptoms of menopause. So the reasons for them wanting to be fit are very different. And the problems that they're experiencing are very different. A female who's 25 doesn't probably have kids yet, schedule's probably pretty flexible. Their constraints, the issues that they have are going to be a lot different than someone who's in their 50s. Maybe their kids are older, they're teenagers, but they work full-time jobs, so they have more of a scheduling conflict. They're taking kids to activities. They're a lot different. And when you market to all of those people, you're forced to have generic marketing because you can't speak to the different goals, because then you're speaking to nobody, and you also can't speak to the problems because then you're speaking to nobody. So what you need to do is to niche down. You need to tighten your window. For example, with a lot of the gym owners that I work with, that do traditionally market to women 25 to 55, we narrow that to women 40 to 60. Now, those people, women in their 40s and 50s, they do have similar goals and similar problems and similar issues and similar desires. So we can really dial in our messaging. So when we niche down, now what we can do is we find our ideal client. And then what we do is we message their problem better than they can even articulate it, and then position your gym as the solution. So here's an example of some of the ad copy that we're currently running with our clients. This is actually one copy and pasted from my gym. This is an ad we're running right now. If you read it, there's nothing about a promo, there's nothing about a trial, there's nothing about a discount. What we are doing is we're talking about the goals that they want so that they can have the transformation that they want at the end of their journey. They want to build strength. They want to fire up their metabolism, improve their flexibility, strength, and mobility. And you can see, so that they feel this way, so that. We talk about the things that they want. We talk about hormones. When you're in your 40s and 50s, that's a real thing that you're experiencing. So we talk about it. When we do this, when we do what I call transformational-based marketing, you get much better results. Now, with that, you need to pair it with good creative. I put creative into 3 buckets. I put it into what I call low production, Twitter style, and high production. So here's some examples. Here's some examples of low production. What you want low production creative to look like is like an organic post. It's like something you just whipped up really quick in 30 seconds, and that's what you're running as an ad. So you want it to feel very, very organic, very authentic. Then the next bucket is what I call Twitter style. Twitter style is where we're just really heavily relying on copy. So you can see here's one where we just like call out what our audience is, what we're trying to do. This is another one that I call iPhone notes. So we'll write out some of the copy that we want in something that looks like iPhone notes, and then we'll paste it usually with an image in the background. But with Twitter style, we're relying heavily on the copy within the image itself. And then finally, we have what I call high production. This would be an image that looks like it's produced. It looks like it was maybe built in Canva or something like that. So you can see here, we still have copy on the screen, but it is very, it's more highly produced, looks a little bit, let's call it like more professional. And I have found that you need to run all 3 of these in simultaneous. You don't necessarily know what's always going to work. Now within that, we usually have multiple low production, multiple Twitter styles, multiple high production. I just wanted to give you a firsthand look of what this looks like. Now, when you move away from marketing discounts and trials and promos and towards transformation-based marketing, here's what happens. You get better leads. You get a higher booking percentage. You get a higher show percentage, and you get a higher conversion. So when you do these things, you ultimately get a better result. And for a lot of people, they don't understand, how could I market to less people but sign up more members? It's because when you do it this way, you are attracting people that are high quality, that want to join your gym because of what you do at your gym, not because of a discount. And they want the result. Everybody wants a result. For some reason, gym owners think that we have to discount it on the front end to get them in the doors, which is not true. Now, the next thing that we did is we collected 20 to 30% of membership as paid in full. So in total, we collected $92,676 in paid in full memberships. Now, here's what is the biggest benefit of paid in fulls. Paid in full cash allows you to scale your gym faster because you don't run into cash flow constraints. What most gyms do is they sign everybody up onto a membership. And yes, that's good. You want the majority of your revenue every single month to come from your monthly reoccurring revenue, your EFT. But when you sign someone up on a membership, you have to wait to collect money. Let's say your lifetime value is $2,000. It's going to take you 2 years to maybe collect that $2,000 because month one, they're going to pay you whatever, $200. Month two, $200. Month three, $200. And it just takes a long time for you to collect that cash. Now, as long as you are hitting your N5 target, this system allows you to both grow your EFT and collect cash at the same time. That's because if you are doing maybe 20 to 30% in paid in fulls and you're hitting your N5 target, let's say your N5 target, for example, is 15, you sign up 15 new members, maybe 3 of them take you up on a paid in full, which for you is massive because that might be $6,000 in new cash you collect, but you still got 12 members onto your EFT. So your EFT is growing, you're growing your members, and you're collecting a massive amount of cash at the same time. Now, the 2 systems that we use specifically in Q1 in order to collect this $92,000 is what I call paid in full evergreen and paid in full renewal. Paid in full evergreen is a system that allows you to get new members to pay you in full when they join. So a new person signs up. The system that we use, which is very simple, is we just send them an email, one email, and they say yes or they say no. And you'll get what I have found, you'll get about 10% of new members to take you up on that offer. So yeah, if you sign up 15 new members, you should get 1 or 2 of them to take you up on the offer and pay you in full for a year, which is massive. Now, if you want the entire system on how we do this, I'm going to put the system in the description. It'll link right to the document. Now, the next system that we have is a paid in full renewal system. This is a system that simply allows us to see where all our members are at on their paid in full memberships. And all we do is when we see that, hey, this person, their paid in full is up in the next 30 days, we just reach out to them and ask them if they want to renew. Now, if you're new to paid in fulls and collecting that, you don't have anybody on your paid in fulls yet. But for us, we've been doing this for years. So we have about 20 to 30% of our membership on paid in fulls. The amazing part of that is that people that are on paid in fulls, they renew their paid in fulls very consistently. So I have found that 50 to 70% always renew. Sometimes it's even higher than that. So every single month in our gyms, at each gym, we might have 2, 4. I think in one of our gyms in the month of June, we have 20 people that are renewing their paid in full, which is massive. So if we get 70% of those people to renew their paid in full, that could be like $40,000 in new cash, in cash upfront that we collect. So once you get consistent and you build this system, this engine just drives itself. And every single month, you might get 2 to 3 to 4 renewals just from people that are renewing their membership, and you collect that cash. That helps you, gives you that money so that you can grow and scale. Finally, the last thing that we did that allowed us to have so much success in Q1 is we had a churn of less than 4%. We actually had a churn of less than 3% when we average it. So in one of our gyms, we were 2.8, 3.7. Then gym 3, we were 1.6. Gym 4, 3.9%. So we had a very low churn. Having a low churn is the number one most important metric in your gym, because if you're losing tons of members every single month, you can't overcome that, right? If you lose 20 members or 25 or 30 members, it's damn near impossible to sign up that many members just to replace what you lost. And so we need to make sure that your churn is very low, because if you lose 5, well, now if you sign up 15, which is totally doable, you've netted 10 members and you've massively grown that month. Now, here, in my opinion, are the 3 most important ways to reduce churn in your gym. First, which nobody thinks about, is attracting the right clients. How do you do it? With transformational based marketing. Don't attract people with discounts. Discounts, when you use discounts in your marketing, you attract discount-minded people. They sign up for a period of time. Then life gets busy, your program gets too expensive, and they quit. When you attract people based on the results that you deliver within your program, those people stick around for the long haul. And we have been doing this for years, which is one of the reasons our churn is so low. It didn't used to be this way. There was a period around 2020, 2019, 2021, somewhere in there, our churn was like 8%, 10%, 12%, and it was a complete nightmare. And we have spent years learning how to fix it. And these are the ways that we have fixed it. Number 2 is your client experience. If your client experience is so good that when a member walks through your doors and works out, participates in a session, etc., if they leave feeling like I can't wait to come back tomorrow, then they're going to be with you forever. And so we need to make sure that your client experience is on point. And then the third, which is also something that I think people completely overlook, is how you onboard a client. When you get a new client started in your gym, most people throw them in, or they come to a group orientation, or they do something because the gym wants it to be efficient and less work for their team. But when you do that, you don't get to set expectations with the client, which I think is the most important thing. If you transition and onboard your clients in a one-on-one environment, even if it only takes you 15 minutes, the most important thing you get to do is set expectations with that client. Here's why that's important. If you sign up a client and their expectation, what they think in their head is, I'm going to come in and I'm going to lose 20 pounds in the first month. Is that possible? Maybe. Is that the norm? No. But if that's what they expect and they come in and that doesn't happen, what are they going to do? They're going to tell themselves that this program doesn't work. They're going to cancel and go try something different. But if you onboard one-on-one, you get to set that expectation with that client. You get to set like, hey, this is your goal. This is what we're going to do. This is how long it's going to take. Does that sound good? And they're going to agree and they're going to understand. So now when they lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds in the first month, and where they might have thought they were off track, now they understand that they're on track. And that is what keeps them around. One-on-one onboarding is the most important because you get to set expectations with your new clients. Now, because our churn was low, it made our N5 targets even lower. Because we lost so few people, because your N5 target pivots on what did you lose last month, it then made our N5 targets fairly low, which is why we ended up exceeding them and ultimately grew even more than planned. So those are the 4 very specific things that we executed in Q1 that allowed us to grow. Now, let me take you through 2 mistakes that I made that cost us a lot of money and really almost tanked the quarter. First is a booking page mess up. Because I thought this would be a good idea, I updated the copy and the structure on our booking page without split testing, which is very unlike me. I was such a dummy about it. What I thought it would work better. I was like, oh, this will for sure work better than our old booking page. The result, our booking page got cut in half. So we booked half as many people for calls than we normally do just because I thought it would work better. Don't make decisions based on your feelings. What you think will work and what works isn't always the same. Make sure you test and use data to drive every single decision and adjustment within your business. I'm massive on data. I split test everything. I don't know why I decided to go off my norm in the month of April with our 4 gyms, but I did. Now, the bad news was for that about 3 weeks, our sales sucked because of this. But the good news was that we caught it in time. I made the adjustment. And then the back half of March, we really crushed it. And we've continued to crush it as we go into April. So this was the big mess up that really almost cost us the quarter, because had I not realized that our booking percentage dropped because of that mistake, I wouldn't have adjusted it and it would have continued to decline. But because we made that adjustment, we were able to recover in time. The other mistake we made, this one almost cost us the quarter in like hitting our numbers. The next one, which is a personal training flop, this is one that cost us actually quite a bit of money because we were unable to execute to the best of our abilities. So we introduced personal training into our gym. So our gyms right now are large group training. And we've recognized that we've really hit a ceiling, right? We do $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month in each gym, but we do that with the large group model. The problem with large group is that eventually you hit a ceiling, right? If even with a low churn, right? For us, in one of our gyms, we have 450 members. So when you have a churn of 4%, you still lose 15 members. And we are able to replace that because we have a good marketing and sales system, but it becomes hard to grow. You reach your ceiling. And so for us, the next stage of growth needs to be for our clients to pay us more. We need to introduce higher level services to them so that now we can move their membership from $200 a month to $600 or $700 a month. And the way that we do that is with personal training, and you're going to see in semi-private just a moment. So we introduced personal training, but we had way less traction than we were hoping for. And as we went into 2026, personal training was a big part of our projections, but it was a complete flop in Q1. And the reason it was a flop was because of our coaching availability and buy-in. The way that we structured PT in Q1 was we kept our large group sessions the same, and then we just tried to insert PT where we could. The problem with that is that it ended up being at non-optimal times for the clients, right? 2 p.m. in the afternoon, but most people don't want to do that. The other thing was because it was on top of our current schedule, the coaches' buy-in was very low. Even though they were getting paid more to do that, they didn't necessarily want to come in and do, in their mind, like extra work for PT, even though it was a way for them to earn more money. They just didn't want to do the extra stuff. And because of that, it was a flop. Now, we've used that, and the vision with PT was we were going to use that as a stepping stone to semi-private. We thought that would be a first good step. Now we realized we had a big constraint because of availability in ours. So what we are doing is now we are adjusting right to semi-private. So what we've already done is we've solved the constraints from personal training. What we have done is because we have now dropped some large group classes. So what we are doing is rather than introducing semi-private and doing it on top of our current schedule, what we're actually doing is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're dropping just a couple of our large group classes and we're going to insert semi-private. Now the coach buy-in is very strong because instead of them showing up on a Tuesday, for example, at 5 a.m. to coach a large group, well, now that's going to be semi-private. So they're bought in because their schedule stays the same and they get paid more to coach semi-private. So now our availability and coach buy-in is very strong, and we're offering our semi-private times at the times that are sort of our peak times for our clients. So that's how we've adjusted it. So those are the 4 things that we did in Q1 to hit $634,000, and also 2 mistakes we did that cost us some money and also almost cost us the quarter. Luckily, we've been able to solve those already as we move forward. Now, if you would like to see how my team can help you add at least $78,000 to your gym annually, click the link in the description, book a call with me, and we'll see if we can help you out.